Welcome back to part two of my discussion with Josh Simmers. So we're picking up where he was about to tell us who his ultimate guest was. Enjoy.
Just would much rather do it in person, kind of keep going with that.
Who would be your ultimate guest then? If you could choose, I mean, other than myself, who would be the ultimate karate? Not Superman or Gandhi. Karate related.
Karate, the person. Okay, this is kind of something I think we'd have to break up of perhaps those alive and those that have maybe passed, right? Because there's certain like ultimate.
Okay, well, yeah, we can do both.
I'd love to sit down with Nakamura Shigeru, who is considered the founder of Okinawa Kempo. I think it's probably better to consider him a co-founder, but he's the one that is most credited with keeping Okinawa Kempo alive, and he is credited as the founder, although it was a combination of people who we believe that founded it. I'd really like to sit down with him and talk to him. The closest I can get to that is we do plan to do that.
And for those who don't know,
passed away. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Josh does Okinawan Kempo. Yeah, if you're unaware. Yep.
Yeah, so Okinawa Kempo is very very similar to Shoden Ryu style. 3 Nihonshis. We've got the Pinans Niseishi, Dasai, Kusan Ku. But we only have one Dasai. We only have one Kusan Ku. And I would like to talk to our founder about why he kept certain kata, why he did not bring in certain kata that others have. We have a seisan that's different than everybody else's seisan. But you can look at it and say, that looks like a seisan. We have Niseichi that's a little bit different than others. And we have things that we do differently in our Pinan katas that others don't do in Shoden Ryu that I'd like to ask him directly. Why did you decide to do this? For instance, we have a yokogeri. We have a side kick in places where there's a maigeri in other Shoden Ryu. Him directly about that. I've asked his students that are still alive, my sensei being one of them. But I'd just like to sit down. If I could sit down with one person and pick their brain, it'd be him.
Fair enough.
But living, that if I could sit down with one person that's still alive, that's probably more difficult for me to answer, because there's a lot of them. I'll say this. I'll say the one person that I want to meet in person, probably more than anybody right now, is Hanshi Doug Perry. He's Jason Perry's father.
Yep.
And I would really like to spend time with that man. I've heard amazing things about him as an individual. I've heard amazing things about his karate. Seen amazing things. But there's a lot of people that I greatly respect that speak so highly of him.
Yeah.
I would really like that opportunity to meet him, and hopefully I can one day. If I get back to the States, to North Carolina, I'd like to go meet him. I don't know that he'll be coming back to Okinawa.
Yeah.
He's already in his 80s, so he's probably made his last trip to the island. But there's a chance I can get back there. How about you? Can I toss that question to you?
Geez. Dead is easy.
Yeah.
Dead, I would ask Itosu.
Yeah.
I would sit down and ask him same questions. Why did you change this, or what was the reason? What did the kata look? Is that you again? All good, man. Is it Michael Hagen? Oh, sweet.
It is. I mean, like, I'm incompetent here. I've closed out my messages.
You know what he's doing? He's getting He's trying to get his own stuff on the show. Okay, well, I'd like to.
It's totally my fault.
Well, yeah, dead Itosu, because I want to ask 1,000 questions about, what was karate like before 1870? That's what did the kata look like? What was the karate? karate like? That was that maybe Matsumoto too. Maybe it's a two person sit down.
Yeah. And I, people are going to probably think I'm crazy that I didn't say that. But I guess one of the reasons I would go with Nakamura Shudo is because I would use him for that information as well, right? But
yeah.
Or I would just let you do the interview with the Tosu, and then I would get it directly from you.
You'd have to wait until I edit
it. No problem. I could wait.
But alive, I'm the one who asks the questions here.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Alive, I don't know, mate. Mario McKenna. Like I've met Mario. He lived at my house. He stayed at my house for 10 days or something. But I haven't spoken to him for a long time. He's off social media and he's got his own blog. And I'd like to sit down and chat to him about Tornru and actually Mario almost missed his flight going from Brisbane back to, was he going back to Vancouver or going back to Japan? I can't remember, but I took him out the night before and we were on the whiskies and he almost missed his flight. My parents were ropeable. I think I was 19 or 20. So he maybe 25 or 27 or something at that time. So still, relatively young, but so close, mate. My mum she's driving to the airport, cutting people off. Good times. But mate, I'm the interviewer. Okay, you're the interviewee.
Okay. Yes.
Let's get back.
Hard
Let's
for me
get
to
back
switch hats sometime.
on schedule. Yeah, you're an interviewer when you start asking the interviewer the questions, right? Just rolling. One thing I've been asking a lot of people is what's something surprising that you found out after you've done the podcast, during the podcast? What's been the most surprising thing that you've learned from doing the podcast? How much of a celebrity you are now? Or?
I seriously said force quit. I shut this thing off and I can't get it to stop thinking. I don't know what's going on. Sorry. But I really don't know. There's a couple different things that have surprised me from the podcast. One is it's not that difficult to get started. And there's a great amount. I'm gonna have to tell these guys to I don't know what's going on here, man. Really, truly sorry.
You're obviously very popular.
Quit Messenger. It's Michael and Tuardi. I've quit Messenger.
Yeah.
I'm popular with them. That's it. And iMessage, and it's still making noise on my computer. I don't know. I'd have to literally reboot.
Feel good.
But I think the amount of support that you get from people has been surprising. There has been a tremendous amount of positive support from people. Very few negative comments. Watch the all start pouring in now, right?
Yeah.
But
are you sure it's very few?
Support from people has been.
Are you sure it's very few, man? Because
well, I've blocked yours.
I've written a lot of.
I've blocked all yours. Once you block Shane comments, so that's been great. I like that a lot. The other thing I'm going to tell you that surprised me, not from a technical perspective or anything like this. Something I never thought would happen is as you go through meeting different people, and I've interviewed people from different countries, from different backgrounds, from different ranks, from different training philosophies, people that are a little bit more heavy on the tournament side, people that hate and are very focused on what they might consider as a traditional art, trying to keep a traditional art alive. So you've been around long enough, you've come across a lot of people as well, and you see what makes people tick. But one of the things that surprised me most from doing the podcast is learning how passionate people are about what they are doing, and how how interesting that's become to me to realize that in people. Like, it's not necessarily what I personally will enjoy, but when they're really into it, you can feel that from them, right? I'll give you an example. Probably two examples is Jesse Enkamp. I interviewed Jesse Enkamp twice. First time was just audio only. Second time was audio and video. And there was a interesting part about him is that he is extremely laser focused on what he's doing. Like you can feel that from him. And he's the type of person that I think no matter what he wanted to do in life, if he wanted to become a professional skater, ice skater, he'd be phenomenal at it. If he wanted to be a doctor, he's extremely focused. And that comes across when you're in his presence. I like that. I like that in an individual, right? The other thing, I'm not a tournament guy. Like I don't like to watch tournaments. I can't really watch the same kata 45 times in a row. I love the athletic ability of athletes. You know, Kuna, you know, who's going for Japan. But I can't stand watching Anan again and again and again. I'm sick and tired of it. But I will listen to someone analyze it. For instance, Michael Hagan, who has, you know, the Apex Karate Performance, he has done podcasts where he's analyzed these professional athletes. And Michael was a professional athlete in the past. He's a coach now of professional athletes. I can listen to how they analyze it, but I won't necessarily sit down and watch it myself. I'll watch someone else picking out these details, right? And so I guess it was surprising to me how I've started to appreciate things from different angles that otherwise I never really would have. There's been other things that have shocked me about the technical side of things, maybe a little bit of the difficulties, but then you work through it. There's different things that you learn about podcasting or doing anything. I'm not a audio video guy. As you can see, I can't turn this gosh dang this dinging off on the messages. But you get support from people. I'll figure it out after this one. But yeah, the meeting people and feeling their passion has been pretty awesome. And I that's kind of what keeps me going, to be honest with you, and trying to keep meeting new people and interviewing new people to learn about them. What makes that person tick.
Well, what's it like with the paparazzi now? Now that you're a successful podcaster, mate, are you having to wear a hat disguise walking outside, or has anybody ever come up to you and said, "Hey, man, I love your podcast"?
No one knows who I am. No, not a clue. Podcast? What's a podcast? That's the answer on Okinawa, huh? Radio? What? There's no direct translation for podcast in Japanese. It'd be podcastu or podcasto or something. I don't know. But the paparazzi, they haven't caught up with me yet.
Yeah. Last night after training, I walked outside and my barber in the shop next to us, he's kind of well known in the Tonga community in Brisbane. Tonga is an island. You got Tonga, Samoa, and New Zealand. The Maoris, they're all sort of Pacific Island nations, and there's a lot in Brisbane anyway. So he's pretty well known, and he's always got rugby players there. He's cutting their hair and stuff like that. Anyway, so last night there's a group of them at the front all talking, and I was wearing my karate gear. Walk past like, "Hey buddy, how are you?" and talk to him, and he cuts my hair, and I said, "Oh, what's going on?" And he said, "Oh, this guy is doing a podcast." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Okay, yeah." I said, "What's a podcast about?" He's a up and coming singer, and I said, "Oh, okay." And I said, "Oh, man, I've got my own podcast. A bit of a check me out." And he goes, "Oh, how many subscribers?" I said, "Oh, 200 or so, mate." And he goes, "Fantastic." He goes, "Yeah, he's got about 500. I've gone, okay." And I said, 200? No, I said 500 or 500,000? He goes, "Oh, about 500,000. I'm like, "Oh." And he goes, "Oh, you mean just 200? Like,
there's a few more zeros."
And he's like, and he goes, "Oh, well, that's good, bro." And I'm like, "Yeah, see you, mate." So
you got to start somewhere. There's got to be one. Yep.
So
So we'll come along. Please go out and subscribe to Karate Over Coffee. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a review.
Get us to 202.
Cheap plug.
Yeah, exactly, mate. And so we're sort of leading up to the, talking about the competition kata and not wanting to watch it. Like, you can only watch so many Cheyne Kusenku before you start to want to rip your eyes out, right? I don't know how the judges do it. That somebody walks out and yells out,
I don't know how they do it either. I don't know how they do it either. It'd be very difficult. I mean, I've judged our own local tournament, just our dojo, right? Just Okinawa Kempo, where there's like 4 dojos that come together, and you're watching the same katas over and over.
Another Pinan Shodan. Oh, yeah.
And it becomes difficult to identify which one is a tenth of a point, which we don't do points, but which one is that much better, right?
What's it like in Okinawa at the moment, leading up to the Olympics? Like we're about 6 weeks away from the Olympics. If what's it like there? Is everybody?
The buzz for us is, of course, Sakamoto Sensei's student Yuna, and I don't know all of who's representing Japan. I know he is, of course, going to be for kata, and we all hope that he brings the gold. Of course, as an American, I'd love to see an American win, right? I mean, it's a country competition, the Olympics, but
sure.
Nothing would make us prouder as well if the gold comes back to Okinawa. I mean, that would be really fantastic, and I will watch that on television. I will watch that performance, but I think that the overall support is going to be great for karate.
Yeah,
from Japan specifically, right?
Yeah.
Do the majority of Americans know that it's being represented in the Olympics this year? Probably not.
Yeah.
Japan knows.
Well,
Okinawa knows.
It's funny because I tell people, it's the first time karate's been in the Olympics. They're like, what? I thought it's been in the Olympics for ages now. That's Taekwondo. Well, what's the difference? Like, how long have you got?
Yeah. Are you going anywhere?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So we're lucky. Yeah, exactly. We're lucky in Australia. We have a representative, Sunari, who's competing in the under 75 kumite, and there's a New Zealand competitor as well. She's in the female kata, which is huge. Like, to get into kata, wow, that's there's only 10 spots, and one of those spots is already for Japan. So there's really 9 spots available for kata. Yeah. At least in kumite, there's 3 different weight divisions. But we do competitions, and I don't really teach competition kata any longer. But I appreciate competition kata. But I like kumite. I've always been a kumite fighter, player, or whatever, athlete. Mm-hmm. And I use the term athlete very loosely. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to watching that, and I've got an interview coming up with somebody going to the Olympics shortly as well. So that should be good.
That's going to be great.
Yeah,
so that's the type of thing that I will watch. When it comes to the Olympics, because we're not going to be watching 300 competitors doing the kata. Like you said, there's 10 slots for. There's only 10 slots for kata. Yep, 40 men, 40 women. Yep. So I think this is what they're going to do. They'll do 2 pools of 5, and out of those 2 pools, the top 2 go into one pool, and then those so that becomes 4, and that 4 becomes 2 into the final. And I think the other guys will play off for third. I'm not sure. I think that's how they were running it. They stopped doing the flag system for kata. I think purely for the Olympics coming up, to give it maybe a little bit fairer and less kata, because you don't have to watch 5 versions of Chaitanya or 16. What's the new Ryu kata or Ohei or
Anandai or whatever it is that they're creating now.
I don't know. I'm sure something will come out, right?
Oh, the new Shotokan have a new Super Empe.
I'm sure there will be a new kata that comes out of it.
Have you seen the new Shotokan version of Super Empe?
Are you joking?
I'm not joking. You should, yeah. Now, for those who are Shotokan, I have no problem with Shotokan, but the opening of you've done Super Empe, I've seen Super Empe. It's in a Sanshin Dutch.
Yeah.
So they step forward in a Kibba Dutch, and it gets worse from there, mate. It's not great. I don't like it. There is another version of a Shotokan Super Empe I saw maybe 20 years ago, which is much closer to a Gorju style version of it. But this one is just Google it. It's in the new WKF Shotokan. You know what they call it? They call it Hakiachiho. They don't even call it Super Empe. They call it Hakiachiho, which is anyway. That's a totally different podcast just about that name. But anyway.
Well, that's okay. So coming back to my somewhat dislike for tournament, I guess it's kind of because of that.
Yeah.
I respect a lot the dedication that the people have that goes into. I mean, to become an Olympic athlete. My gosh, right? And the time that you dedicate to that is unreal. I do respect that, but I don't like the creation of katas or the adaptation of katas for tournament. I just don't care for it at all. I'm okay with fine tuning your kata within your dojo, within your system. Yeah, I just it's just me. It's personal, right? It's whatever.
Well, one of my boys.
It's how it is. But yeah, we'll see.
One of my boys, he's 21 this year, but anyway, he's still one of my boys. But he's actually in the Australian team for kata. So, but
nice.
Yeah, he's very good. But I mean, there's been no international competition for a couple of years, and so there's been very little training. And he actually works for me, teaches karate for me too. But watching him do the training, I appreciate how much effort it takes, and he's got a great jump. He's about 5'3". He's short, but he's got a jump on him, man. So we choose kata that suits his jump. Like, it's not my style, it's not my system. I don't teach Doru, I don't teach Gorjuru, but we adapt our kata to suit WKF style kata. And I choose kata that's a little bit different. So we do a Kyan Chinto, which starts like an old Chinto, like maybe the original or closer to the original, where it's a diagonal off to the side, boom, and it's got a jump, and it suits his style. So we do that Kyan Chinto because of that. We do a Shitoru Unshu, or Unsu, and we added a jump in the Shitoru. A version of Shitoru we found that has a jump. Like, cool, we can do that because he's got a great jump. And he's just naturally sort of gifted in that. I mean, he's in the Australian squad for Kumite too. So he's very good, very natural. But having to I don't really do much teaching of him. I just give him pointers on how to turn better or waist down. This looks better. He sort of runs his own race in that, and I don't have too much influence. The only influence I do have is a kata that we do, and just some advice on how to do the turns better, how to transfer weight forward more, or not so much about what the Shitoru kata looks like, because I don't know. that's not my area of expertise. So, but anyway, we're off track again. So now you've got a hot date, I hear.
I've got a hot date. Got a hot date today.
With our man
After
James.
this, after we wrap this up, I'm gonna head down to Naha. I gotta order a gi for somebody, and then I'm gonna go over and say hi to James Spankovich. I haven't seen him in a while. One thing you had asked me previously, I think when you were getting into podcasting, and we had talked about something else I'll throw out there is, we've joked about editing, right? How much fun it is editing, and we end up editing ourselves out more. I've learned that if you can take the time to make it work correctly the first time, do it. Don't think, I'll just edit that later. I was editing a video yesterday, and it's over an hour and a half of footage, but it was compiled of multiple days of events. And I realize now that I did not get some of the videos that I wanted to get, because I thought, well, I've already got it from another time that I was at this location or whatever. It's those little things that you learn, right? Like, if you think you've got it and you have the opportunity to take another shot, do it. Take the other shot. Do it 2 or 3 more times. For this particular instant that I'm talking about, I was outside and I wanted to get an aerial view, or a pan view, if you will, of where I was standing. And I thought I did. And then I get back home and it's like, I didn't get what I wanted. And so I'm almost contemplating I need to go back and get another shot of that location here on the island. So another little tidbit of information for the people, and like you and I have talked about it, it's much better to get it correct the first time than try to edit it later on.
Yeah. Well, I found I've been doing less editing. The less editing and just keeping it more raw. Now, that's not because I'm lazy. Well, probably is a bit of that too, but I like the rawness of it. Like I will listen to it, and if something doesn't sound right, I'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have dropped that person's name, or said this or that. But normally the same. I send it to the person. So after this interview, I'll send it to you. Just you can have a bit of a read, a listen to it, or a watch. And if you don't like something, or if you think your hair was out of place or whatever, I will definitely edit it. But otherwise, I'll just let it run, mate. I'll probably split this up into
no shame here. Just let it run.
Two or three sections, because people's ability to concentrate is minimal. So I'm the same.
Yeah.
I'm not any different. So yeah. Well, mate, look, we might wrap it up there, right? I'll have to
I really appreciate it, Shane. I like the podcast a lot, man. I like what you're doing. Keep going with it. I enjoy it. One of these days we're gonna get together and train, and then we're gonna do some more podcasting, because I want to pick your brain about some things that some things I've heard in your podcast that I think will be fun. Some things about different kata, things that you may have added or deleted from your syllabus and whatnot. But hey,
the Pinan kata.
Enjoy the coffee. Enjoy the karate. Enjoy the karate over coffee.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Look, well,
I really appreciate what you're doing.
We were actually talking about doing a karate over beer. Might be a much looser podcast.
That is something that is in the plans as well. Once people can get back to Okinawa, I want to do some things like that, and have more of a loose conversation, a free and just kind of a general chat, But
welcome back.
We can do it over Zoom too.
Karate over beer. It's 1 a.m. at the new dojo bar. We're 14 beers deep, and we just started conditioning.
Yeah, can deliver.
I have done that. I had a guy, and I won't say who he is. We're doing Kyushu Jitsu it would have been 2 a.m. at my apartment. Yeah, there was 3 of us. 4 of us. When one of them is a Russian that didn't understand what we were doing.
Well, 14 beers deep, not many people do.
Yeah.
Regardless of nationality.
And this is after a full day of training in the sun. You know, like it's good times. Good times. All right, mate. Well, I'll let you go and buy your karate gi. I'm size 6 if you're wondering, but anyway, all good.
All right. Well, this is a size 2. I'm ordering for somebody's son, so
well,
I don't think it'll fit you.
Well, thanks, mate. Yeah, my son.
Size 6.
My son is a size 2. Well, I bloody appreciate it. You're a nice fella.
Ooh.
All right. I'll have to send you over one of our karate over coffee shirts and maybe a mug. Ooh.
We'd love it.
Joe Swift's got his straight out of
proudly.
Joe Swift's got his straight out of No Fun Chi shirt as well, and so so there's 2 I've sold internationally now.
There you go. There you go.
There we go. It's on its way, man.
Of course, he's in mainland Japan. I'm in Okinawa. We gotta start spreading it out more.
Yeah, exactly. All right, buddy. I'll chat to you soon.
All right. Thanks a lot, Shane.
Thank you for listening to Karate Over Coffee. And if you're enjoying the podcast and getting something out of the episodes, there are a few things you can do to help us. If you don't already subscribe to us on YouTube, please do so. We release these episodes every Friday morning, Australian time. Plus, we release some smaller espresso shots during the week on both our YouTube channel and our Facebook community group. You can also subscribe to us on our Apple or Spotify. Leaving a 5-star review will be very beneficial as well. If you have any suggestions or topics or feedback or anything that you want to talk about, please put it in our comment section on our Karate Over Coffee community Facebook group. If you'd like to support us, please visit our online shop where we have official Karate Over Coffee shirts, hoodies and mugs available. Your continued support is appreciated and a vital way for the podcast to keep moving forward. Thanks, guys.